Confidence and overconfidence are two different things. Hello, and a warm welcome from me to you. Nowadays, so many people are out here promoting self love and self confidence and everything. But so many people have let that get to their heads. So many people are overconfident now. And even if it's not the motivation and everything, there are some people who genuinely just think of themselves as superior to other people, which in itself is a extremely bad, and I personally call it a disgusting behavior, thinking of yourself as superior to other people. Like, no matter what you have, you're at the end of the day still human. You need to look at yourselves on basis of being a human. You don't need to think that, just because I'm wearing a luxury brand, or I'm wearing something that the other person doesn't have, I'm better than that person, because no one is better than anyone. We're all equal and we're all humans. Sure, some people have more luxuries than other people, but that certainly does not mean that they are, in a way, quote, better than that person. Now, listen, I felt the need to talk about this because of something recent that happened in my school, actually. I don't want to give too many details because, well, obviously, for the people involved, their privacy reasons, but it was a little argument between a teacher and a student, you could say. Now, personally, since I know what happened in the event, I know that both people were at fault here. But the way that this girl has acted in our class towards that teacher, and the things that are being said about that said teacher here, in most of the girls in our class, is extremely, I personally think, like, look, we get it. We all sometimes get frustrated at teachers, and sometimes we really, some teachers are really just a little too strict. But this wasn't something that was supposed to be reacted out like this. And personally, in my opinion, like, sure, both ends got angry and stuff, but the way it was handled was super, I say that it was super unfair. This, in a way, has to do with big egos, because this said girl had such a big ego that she, and, well, obviously all of her friends and so many girls, are refusing to admit that she was at fault as well, when she clearly was, because she did, well, I'm just going to give it a little bit. She did misbehave in a way, and, well, you see, parents were called, and a lot of everything happened. That this was a 50-50 situation. And I'm not saying that the student is completely at fault here, because faults are from both sides, but I'm saying that the way it was handled was, in a way, really unfair, and the way that the teacher is being thought of, especially like in amongst so many girls in our class. And I just know that there are so many girls in other classes who refuse to admit that anyone else is wrong, despite that being a teacher here in this situation. So many people are going to call the teacher wrong, and there are also so many people who are going to call the student wrong. But actually, both people are wrong here. Now, look, why I think that this is related to ego is because she had such a big ego. She refused to admit that she had any fault in this, or she deserved any of what happened to her, which she did. Mind you, she did deserve it. And she still is refusing to apologize, because both people were at fault here, and the student also needs to apologize, because actually the teacher had already apologized. Get it, okay? Maybe respect, yeah, sure. Many people say that respect should be earned and not given out just because you're older or you're a senior. Okay, sure, believe that. But that doesn't mean being outright rude to other people. Like, at least have some basic human decency, right? Everyone deserves some basic respect, even if they're not older than you, or they're not superior, or even if you don't believe in that. That does not mean you give them dirty looks, or you think of them as or inferior just because. Believing in something is totally different, okay? And I just thought it was really important, because this does not get discussed enough, like overconfidence and having a big ego. Like, look, it is not a flex. If you have a big ego, you are not allowed to flex that. That is not something to flex. That is not something to pride yourself on. That is extremely stupid, and it is looked down upon. No matter how much you think it isn't, it is looked down upon, because, well, it's really against moral values of us as humans. We should be out here giving each other kindness just because. There shouldn't be a reason to give someone respect or kindness. Anyways, I think this is enough of my rant, because if I start going on, I'm going to go on and on. So please look into yourselves and understand that being confident and having a big ego are two different things. Confidence and overconfidence should never, ever, ever be mixed together. And I will see you all in the next video. Up until then, bye bye.